since its inception some 30 plus years ago. So today, to get started, we want to share with you a history of Kwanzaa, how it came into being, because we have to have some sense of what our roots and our foundations are so that we know why we have certain traditions and why we practice them. So Jeremy is going to present a brief history that is being facilitated by one of our other Kwanzaa Charlotte members, Sister Tahira. And then we'll come back to a discussion of how to set up a Kwanzaa table.
May I have permission from my elders to proceed?
Yes. Yes.
Asante Sana. Jambo, my name is Tahira Fair Bradley, and today I will be presenting the history portion of the 2020 Kwanzaa Family Workshop, a celebration of family, community, and culture. Why history? Dr. John Henry Clark says history is a clock that people use to tell their political and cultural time of day. It is also a compass that people use to find themselves on the map of human geography. History tells the people where they have been and what they have been, where they are and what they are. Most important, history tells the people where they still must go, what they still must be. The relationship of history to the people is the same as the relationship of a mother to her child. All history is a current event. Here's a picture of Dr. Maulana Karinga, the founder of Kwanzaa. Of history, he says, we study history for three reasons: to learn its lessons, to absorb its spirits, and to emulate its highest achievements. Two key Swahili terms that you will hear throughout the Kwanzaa season are Habar Gani and Asante Sana. Habar Gani means what news or what's happening, and Asante Sana means thank you very much. The origins of Kwanzaa begin with the African origin of civilization in the Nile Valley, where there were agricultural celebrations during both the pre-dynastic and dynastic periods. The holiday of Kwanzaa is a product of creative cultural synthesis. The continental African components of Kwanzaa are a synthesis of various cultural values and practices from different continental African people. The first fruit celebrations. Kwanzaa comes from the Kiswahili phrase Matunda ya Kwanzaa. Matunda meaning fruits, ya Kwanzaa meaning first. Recorded in African history as far back as Kemet and Nubia. Celebrated amongst African civilizations, empires, kingdoms, and societies such as Ashanti-land, Yoruba-land, Zulu, Swaziland, Matabele, and Lovedu. As you'll note here, Matunda Ya Kwanzaa has 6 letters and one A at the end. Why the extra A? The extra A, Kwanzaa's extra A evolved as a result of a practical history of the US organization, capital U, small s. It was done as an expression of African values in order to accommodate the wishes and inspire the creativity of children, of our children. At the very beginning of us, the 7 children in the organization wanted to put on a program in which each of them represented and explained a letter of Kwanzaa. Since Kwanzaa, which means first, has only 6 letters, we added an extra A to make it 7. And that is from Dr. Karinga. The African American origins. In the 1960s, the Black movement after 1965 was defined by its thrust to return to the source, to go back to Black. It stressed the rescue and reconstruction of African history and culture, redefinition of our values and our culture, and the restructuring of the goals and purpose of our struggle for liberation and a higher level of human life based on an Afrocentric model. So what are these struggles? Kwanzaa is a product of the 1960 African American struggles for justice, power, and liberation. Here we have a picture of Dr. King with 250,000 protesters at the March on Washington. Without these struggles, there is no Kwanzaa. Here we have a picture of Amawali Malcolm X, who inspired Dr. Karenga. And at the bottom, we have a picture of Bloody Sunday. That is Amelia Boynton Robinson with an officer who had beat her standing over her in Selma, Alabama, right at the Edmund Pettus Bridge. This is exactly 55 years after the assassination, before the assassination of Breonna Taylor. The African American origins. The event that led directly to the development of Kwanzaa was the Watts Rebellion in August 1965. We'll watch a short snippet of this video.
It was the most widespread, most destructive racial violence in American history. White people driving through the riot area were considered fair game, whether young or old, men or women. Their cars were battered, the drivers stoned, kicked, and beaten, and the cars were burned. The mobs might groan and curse in disappointment when a white got away, and then cheer like a football crowd when a car went up in flames. The burning and looting, the shooting and beating went on for nearly a week. It began, as many race riots have begun, with the arrest of a Negro by white officers, right here at this corner. In this case, 2 young Negroes were stopped by California Highway Patrolmen and charged with drunk driving. There was a scuffle and a crowd gathered. The mother of the 2, their brothers, joined in, and she and another woman the crowd thought was pregnant were pushed and shoved. Over and over, Negroes repeat the charge of police brutality. One who had pressed a number of brutality complaints and one of the most successful attorneys in Los Angeles is a Negro, Leo Branton. We asked him about the police claim that brutality charges are fully and fairly investigated.
Well, in theory, there are avenues of complaint open, but there are no meaningful avenues to redress the grievances of these people. I've tried them all, and I can say to you that there is no question but that under the present machinery as it exists and as it is being operated today, a complaint of police brutality by any Negro citizen goes almost completely unheeded.
The first thorough study of Negroes and how they live in this country was completed only a few months ago. Our government, which conducts detailed surveys of everything from sugar beets in Colorado to social habits in Cambodia, had never before taken a close look at the 21 million Negroes of America. Daniel Moynihan, until this summer,
Again, this is 55 years before the assassination of George Floyd. All history is a current event. The US organization is a Pan-African organization founded on September 7, 1965 by Maulana Karenga and Hakeem Jamal, who is a cousin of Malcolm X. The Pan-Africanism is a philosophy and practice which affirms the common history, culture, interest, and struggle of African people. So not just African people here on the continent of North America. Us. That the key crisis in Black life was the cultural crisis, views and values, what we think and how we act. A cultural revolution was necessary. Dr. Karenga introduced the Nguzo Saba as the key component to our cultural revolution. The origin of Kwanzaa based on Kawaida theory. Kwanzaa is based on Kawaida theory. Kawaida is the philosophy out of which Kwanzaa was created. It teaches that all we think and do should be based on tradition and reason, which are in turn rooted in practice. Tradition is our grounding, our cultural anchor, and therefore our starting point. Reason is necessary critical thought about our tradition, which enables us to select, preserve, and build on the best of what we have achieved and produced. For in the final analysis, practice proves everything. It is both the test of reason and tradition. The African American origin. On December 26, 1966, to help facilitate the Cultural Revolution to reaffirm and restore our African heritage and culture, Dr. Karinga and the US organization introduced Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa was created to address the absence of non-heroic holidays in the African American community. Kwanzaa was created to serve as a regular communal celebration which reaffirmed and reinforced the bonds between us as a people. Kwanzaa was created as an act of cultural self-determination and as a self-conscious statement of our cultural truth as an African people. The fundamental practices or activities of Kwanzaa that we practice today are the same ones that you would have seen on the continent of Africa 5,000 years ago. So it's the ingathering of the people, special reverence for the creator and creation, commemoration of the past, recommitment to our highest ideals, and celebration of the good. The Nguzo Saba. The Nguzo Saba were projected as the moral minimum set of African values that African Americans needed in order to build and strengthen family, community, and culture, and become a self-conscious social force in the struggle to control their destiny and daily lives. And that's a quote from Dr. Marlana Karinga. So, what is the Nguzo Saba? It's the 7 principles. It's Umoja, which is unity; Kujichagulia, which is self-determination; Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility; Ujamaa, which is cooperative economics; Nia, which is purpose; Kaumba, which is creativity; and Imani, which is faith. Next, I have a short video on why Kwanzaa.
Young women, young men of color, come up from the gloom of national neglect. You have already been paid for. Come out of the shadow of irrational prejudices. You owe no racial debt to history. The blood of our bodies and the prayers of our souls have bought for you a future without shame, bright beyond the telling of.
Kwanzaa means access. It means access to yourself. It means access to your people.
Kwanzaa is like renewing your annual membership to community, to your families, to your culture, and most importantly, to yourself.
Kwanzaa is expressed throughout the world now by people of African heritage who want to have that cultural connectiveness.
These are principles of what we're supposed to be doing 365. You know what I mean? And how we treat each other and how we look at the world. We did not petition or ask for permission to celebrate. We did it by Kujichagulia, self-determination. We determined that this was good for us. We determined that we were going to celebrate.
A people without knowledge of its past is like a tree without roots. People who don't know their history, that don't know where they came from, definitely can't figure out where they're going.
That is our task, to know our past and honor it, and to imagine our good future and to forge it.
Through Kwanzaa, through the 7 principles, you teach the next generation to elevate themselves.
It's your world. You just have to tell the world how you feel about this world and what you're going to do for yourself. It's really up to you to save your own self.
You are the best we have. You are all we have. You are what we have become. It is time to remember.
It is not merely a holiday. It is a statement about a people, where they were, where they were going, and where they continue to go.
Kwanzaa in 2020. America in 2020 is more divided than any period since the American Civil War. In 2020, we are seeing racial division, contentious politics, pandemic that is disproportionately affecting African Americans, and a depressed economy that is also disproportionately affecting African Americans, especially since we are seeing double-digit unemployment. For African Americans to survive, we need to practice the Nguzo Saba now more than any time in our recent history. Kwanzaa in 2020, now we need to pull together more than ever. Harambe is Kiswahili for all pull together.
Thank you, Sister Tahira. If she were here, I would be thanking her and hugging her in person for that wonderful presentation about the history of Kwanzaa. I won't go over many of the things that she said, except to show you how to set up a Kwanzaa table and do a celebration if you were doing it at home. But before I get too much further into that, I forgot to thank our American Sign Language interpreters, Melissa and Adrian, for volunteering their services with us today so that our program is definitely all inclusive for all members of our community. The fundamental practices of Kwanzaa that drive why we celebrate Kwanzaa are 5 principles, 5 activities, 5 fundamental activities. It's the ingathering of the people, bringing people together as much as if you were having a family reunion. And for many of us, that is exactly what it is, a family reunion. To show special reverence for the Creator and for creation. To commemorate the past. Our past is a rich one and we need to honor it because oftentimes our story is not always told as it occurred. It has been deflated, renegotiated, footnoted. So we have an opportunity during Kwanzaa to tell our history as it occurred. It is a recommitment to our highest ideals of what the models that we have in history, models that we can emulate, is what we can do is recommit ourselves to fostering and furthering those ideals. And it is a celebration of the good, a coming together and celebrating the best of who we are. So before any Kwanzaa celebration begins, and I probably should have done that when we first started, but I want to give you a flow of how you do it at home. If you are having a Kwanzaa celebration at home, and we certainly hope you will if you're not able to join us for our citywide celebrations, will be when you call your family together. The elder person typically is the one who offers a libation. The libation statement is offered at the beginning of your program as a way of honoring the past, calling on the ancestors for their presence to be with you as you celebrate this auspicious occasion. And so Dr. Karenga developed what's called the Tamshi La Tambiko. It is a libation statement. And during the libation statement, we pour water. We pour it onto a plant because water represents life. And when we pour water onto the plant, we're pouring it back into the earth, which is a representation of all of us. And so when we do the libation statement, we all stand, and you would do that in your family as a way of reverence. So I'm going to ask all of you to stand. And I'm going to read the statement, and at certain intervals, I'm going to say Ashe, and I'm going to ask you to join me in saying that. And Ashe is a Swahili word that simply means I agree with what is being said. It's the same as if you were in another setting and you said amen or right on or that's right, I agree. You're basically expressing your agreement with what is being said and what is being done. So the Tamshi La Tambiko, all right, it says, our fathers,
page 8.
Our fathers and mothers came here, lived, loved, learned, and built here. And it is on page 8. so you can read along with me. And for those of you who are in the virtual world, I'll read it so that you can hear it. So our fathers and mothers came here, lived, loved, struggled, and built here. At this place, their love and labor rose like the sun and gave strength and meaning to the day. For them then who gave so much, we give in return. On this same soil, we will sow our seed and build and move in unity and strength. Here too, we will struggle. We will continue that struggle for liberation and a higher level of human life. May our eyes be the eagle, our strength be the elephant, and the boldness of our life be like the lion. And may we remember and honor our ancestors and the legacy they left for as long as the sun shines and the waters flood. For our people everywhere then, for Shaka, for Samari, for Nzinga, and all the others known and unknown who defended our ancestral land, history, and humanity from alien invaders. For Garvey, Muhammad, Malcolm, King, Harriet, Fannie Lou, Sojourner, Bethune, and Nat Turner, and all the others who dared to defend, define, and develop our interests as a people. For our children and the freer and fuller lives they will live because we struggle. For Kawaida and the Nguzu Saba, the new system of views and values which gives identity, purpose, and direction to our lives. And for the new world we struggle to build. Ashe. Ashe. For the continuing struggle through which we will inevitably rescue and reconstruct our history and humanity in our own image and according to our own needs. Ashe. 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 All right. So thank you very much. Now, a disclaimer. If you're setting up a Kwanzaa table at home, it does not have to be this elaborate. We do this a lot of times when we're doing public programs. If you're doing a program at home, there are a number of things that you can eliminate. One, your table does not have to be this large. It could be your dining room table, or it could be a small low table that you sit on the floor and place your items. The essential thing is that you have the 7 Kwanzaa symbols. And that would be, in fact, if you have your, for those of you who are here, if you would turn to the symbols, and I'm not sure what page that's on, I'm going to ask you to help me with that. And this one, we'll be doing a little bit of call and response and repetition to help us to embed this on page 5. Okay, we ready? So, if somebody in our audience would, in fact, just speak out loud enough so we can hear it over the mic, and tell me what the 7 basic symbols are, and I will point them out as we go along. Over here, let's do it there. Crops. Okay. These are the crops, and I might add, if when you're getting crops, as much as you possibly can, try to buy local. I bought these this morning about 8:30 from the farmers market uptown, from some local Black farmers who happen to be present for us today, and they're members of Kwanzaa Charlotte. So our collards, our carrots, our cabbage, our radishes, all came from Deep Roots Farm. Okay, so try to buy local as much as you possibly can. So that's our crops. What else do we have? The Kikumbe Cha Umoja. The Kikumbe Cha Umoja. So this is the unity cup. And this is what I used a moment ago to pour the libation. When we do Kwanzaa celebrations in public, one person pours and may take a sip on behalf of everyone, but certainly if you're doing it at home, you can pass a couple rounds, starting with the eldest person in your family. And that typically would be the person who would be pouring the libation. And so you would pass a couple rounds. Everybody takes a sip. And that is a form of unity, showing a sense of unity within your family, which is where unity starts. Another symbol, someone. Kanara. The Kanara. Thank you, Nini. The Kanara. This is a Kanara. This represents our roots as a people, our foundation. And the kanara is used to put what in, which someone has to tell me what that next symbol would be. What do we use the kanara for? Right, to put in the yeah, to put in the Mashuma Saba, the 7 candles. All right. So while we're on the candles, each candle represents one of the 7 days of Kwanzaa. Okay, and we'll come back and discuss what each one of these. So there's some other symbols that are left, and I need help. Okay. And for those of you who are joining us on the live stream, there are people in the audience here at the library, and I certainly want to keep them engaged and activated in what we're doing. So forgive us if we kind of go off the script just a little. So what's the next symbol, someone?
The mat.
The mat. Okay, the makeka. All right, so hope you can see it, the makeka. Then the makeka is important because every other symbol rests on the makeka, our foundation, the makeka. Let's see, okay, and we have a couple other symbols. The zawadi. Zawadi. Now, that may be one of my favorites. At least I know it's a favorite of children that I know. The zawadi are gifts that are given to children for promises made and promises and commitments kept. And the reason I think I like that so much is that toward the end of the year, on the 31st, the night of Kwanzaa, when families join together, children make a commitment for what they're going to do for the next year. It could be something as simple as making sure my room is clean every day, or eating all my broccoli. And really important, making sure that they are focusing and doing well in school, so that a child may make a commitment to read 5 books a week or to increase their math scores, whatever it takes. And our responsibility as parents and community members is to help children to keep those commitments through positive encouragement, through love and care for them. Are there any other symbols? Coin. The coin, yay, the coin. The coin is very important. That's the mahindi. So if you're celebrating Kwanzaa in your home and you have 15 children, you would put out 15 ears of corn. You had 2 children, how many ears of corn? 2. All right, so you put out an ear of corn for each child that you have now. If you are like me and don't have any biological children, me and my mate, we would put out ears of corn anyway, because we're a part of a community that supports, loves, and cares for the children in our community. So we'll put out an ear of corn anyway, okay? Are there any other symbols that we didn't cover? The
Bandera, the flag.
Oh, the flag.
She said it.
There you go, girl. I love you. That's my Nene. All right, so the flag, the red, black, and green flag can be placed on your table. We don't have a flag today, but we have some other symbols that represent Kwanzaa. If you look around the room, we have banners that are all representative of Kwanzaa. So that if you are listening, and for those of you who are here, we're going to have some vendors at our Kwanzaa, our public Kwanzaa programs that will be starting December 26th. And some of our vendors will have flags that you'll be able to purchase, as well as other things. Okay. All right, so that's all the symbols.
Well, the Nguzu Saba poster.
Right, and usually we have one, but we don't. You can use the Nguzu Saba poster such as this. And there's one at the back of that one's not as fully developed as this one. But this one tells you all the symbols, all the Kiswahili words. We have one here. And a lot of these things I found online, and you can do that and have Kwanzaa all around this page. So again, if you are doing Kwanzaa at home, it does not have to be this elaborate. You don't have to have these symbols, these representatives of the symbols. You don't have to have those. One book, one piece of zawadi, again, a smaller table. You can make it as minimal as you wish, as long as you include the 7 symbols. Now, I think Sister Tahira covered this in her video, I'm not certain, but Kwanzaa is celebrated 7 days. We begin December 26th through January 1st. And for each day that we celebrate Kwanzaa, we light a candle for that day. So the first day, the candle that is lit is a candle that represents unity, umoja. And the black candle is lit for that day. And umoja means to strive for unity in the family, in the community, in the nation, and the race. So you light the black candle for that day. And it is always an imperative to have children as you light the candles. When we do our public celebrations, we invite all the children in the audience, and sometimes we have as many as 40 or 50 who are all gathered around, touching each other in some way as one person lights the candle. So the second candle is the red candle. And so let me go back to this a second. The black candle represents us as a people. The red candles represent blood and struggle that was shed on behalf of our struggle for liberation as a people. The green candles represent our light, our victory over that struggle. So the stories, the candles in a sense tell a story. Black people engaged in struggle for a better opportunity. Okay. So then on the second day, you would light the black candle again, and then light a red candle. Third day, black candle again, red candle, green candle. Fourth day, repeat that process until on the 7th day, finally, all the candles are lit. So the second candle, the red candle, Kuji Shagalia, stands for self-determination, to define ourselves, name ourselves, and speak for ourselves instead of being defined or spoken for by others. We get to determine ourselves. The green candle, the third candle that will be lit, represents Ujima, collective work and responsibility. To build and maintain our community together and to make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to work together to solve them. We have to work together if we are going to achieve the liberation that we say that we want. We have to work together. That is imperative. That is important. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we come back to another red candle, which represents Ushima, cooperative economics, to build and maintain our shops and stores and to profit from them together. It may take you a little bit out of the way to maybe go shop at a black store or a black vendor, but it is worth it because the more we shop and spend our money with people who look like us, the more those businesses can reinvest into our community. It's really important that we do that. Not just one day, not just during Kwanzaa, but every single day of the year. That is important. All right, then Nia, purpose. To make our collective vocation the building and development of our community in order to restore our people to our traditional greatness. So then you become in light a green candle. On the 6th day, Kaumba, creativity, to do always as much as we can in any way that we can to leave our communities better than we inherited them. And you would like the red candle. And then finally, on the last day, Imani, faith, to believe with all of our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, and our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle, a green candle is lit. So on the last day of Kwanzaa, on the 7th day, all candles have been lit and they are glowing, and we've gotten that year off to a great start. What I would encourage you to do certainly is to, if you can, attend our daily celebrations to learn more about Kwanzaa. We have, Kwanzaa Charlotte has a website that you can go to get more information. about Kwanzaa. You can get the history as it's written, find the activities. You can go back and find the history piece that Sister Hira provided. So just visit us, and I'm going to ask one of my Kwanzaa Charlotte members to give me, or come up if you would, and give those digital addresses that people. Yes, you, ma'am. Okay. Sorry. Okay. And incidentally, the sister who's coming up is one of the owners of Deep Roots Farms, a Black-owned farm cooperative in Charlotte that I encourage you to reach out to. And Cherie also manages our website and other data elements, so you can tell people how they can find it.
So on social media, we're Kwanzaa Charlotte. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook. And our website, which includes a lot of the information that Mama Terry has shared today, is KwanzaaCharlotte.com.
Thank you so much. Now I get three people in here I'm gonna put on the spot. You know, Albamia, Ozari, Nini. I'm gonna ask you to come up for 1 second. Come right in. So you can get in the camera. Come on. Taking our coats and getting cute. That's fine. Come on. Come in, look close, baby. So what I want you to see here, people, I want you to see the new faces of Kwanzaa Charlotte. Most of us are aging out, and we're going to be passing the baton on to these young people who have been born into and nurtured into the practices and traditions of Kwanzaa. So maybe next year you will be seeing them do this. Thank y'all. Okay, so now we're going to turn the program over to Mother Minta, who will be doing the crafts portion of our program. Am I leaving anything out? Are there any questions from anybody in the audience?
How long has Kwanzaa Charlotte been in existence in our city?
So the question is, how long has Kwanzaa Charlotte been in existence in our city? 35 plus years. We started in the basement of the old Afro-American Cultural Center, which is now the Gantt Center. We started there in 1998, 99, I believe. We started with the first program we had there might have been maybe 2 or 3 people, and one was a facilitator. But we have grown, you know, into audiences now, 500, 600, 700 people. So we've come a long way. Kwanzaa Charlotte has been celebrated really since 1966, since Dr. Karenga started it with the assistance of Dr. Maxwell Ryder, who's at the University of North Carolina in Charlotte. So I think they had the first Kwanzaa program, and then the Afro-American Cultural Center started doing it. So we have a long history, we have a rich history, we have a strong and vibrant history of Kwanzaa programs in Charlotte, and we will continue this, not just with us, but with those 3 young people that I introduced you to. So thank you so much for your time this morning. Mother Minta is going to come and explain how crafts portion is going to work. Again, thank you. Habari Ghani, that I meant to tell you, is what's the news, what's happening. And each day of Kwanzaa, we say that. Now, after the crafts program, we'll come back and perform our last ritual, which would be the closing and the harambe. All right, thank you, Mother Minta.
Habari Ghani.
Today.
We come each year and try to give some things for families to do in their home with their children, because it's very important that we play with our children. They learn through play and doing. So these things that we do, these crafts that we do at Kwanzaa, always reiterate the importance of Kwanzaa and the principles that we're learning. So we create, I've created over the years different types of crafts, and the crafts that we have here, you don't have to make them all. You can make them all. We have enough for everyone today to make them all. And you have your working supplies on the table. This is one of the ones that we do as a hanger for their room that has all the principles on them, and they can hang them in their room and learn all year long to do these principles, which pertain to our lives each and every day, the things we should be doing anyway.
I say.
So this hangs in their room. They can make that very simple paper craft, not expensive to make at home. And that's one of the things that we try to do, is make sure that everything that we create is economical for you to make at home. We have the bookmark because we encourage reading. If you notice on your tables, those of you that are here with us in person, you have a book, at least one book on your table, because we encourage you using your library and at home as well as the public library to read. And so here's a bookmark for them to mark. And it has African material on it. You can write on it. It's just foam. It's very inexpensive. There again, to make it home. We're doing this year a mat where you can use African material on it, or I have some examples of Africa that you can put there again, the each night principle on there, as well as any information you want to put about your family and your experiences with Kwanzaa. So this will be a family mat. You only make one of these per family. And of course, everybody thinks you have to have a fancy mat like Sister Terry has out today, but we've created something for the children, and this has been going around for years and years. I see they have copies of it on Facebook now, and people have seen it. They've duplicated it. It's something very simple to make, just construction paper, red, black, and green, and you can make 2 or 3 of these and let them serve as your mat at your place. So you can use any type. You can use sticks. Anything you can find in your yard, you can probably find and string and make mats, but this is just a simple one for children to do. So all of our crafts are very simple. I had one more. There again, your foam with a little pin back, and you've made a pin that says Kwanzaa and has one of the principles on it. So something very simple that you can do there again at home. It doesn't have to be expensive. In fact, we like for you to use things from the earth. We like for you to use creative supplies that you have around, things that you would normally throw away. Look at them and see if you can make something out. That's saving the earth, okay? So that's important to us as well. I'll be at the back with some of my wonderful helpers, as our family are helping us today. So we want you to gather your information from the table, your supplies from the table, and you have equipment on your table to work with everything. Okay, if you have any questions, I'll be right back there at the tables. Thank you.
So thank you, Mother Minta. And at this time, the people who are with us will be working with the crafts. For those of you who are at home, you can take this opportunity to go grab whatever recyclable materials you might have at home, as Mother Minta suggested, and try to help in creating something. And then we'll be right back with you. Thank you. Okay, I'm back. And I'm back because we've had a slight shift in programming because of the way technology works. We're going to close out the program now with the Tamshila Tutunana and the Harambe. And then the people who are here with us live will continue to work on their crafts, and we encourage you to do the same at home. So back again, everyone, hello. Habari Gani. Habari Gani. I need you to come back for just 1 second. We had a slight change in the way we're going to close out. Do it. See? Do it. Okay, come on.
Sure. I'd like to take a picture.
Okay, all right, so, you know what, so everybody, come behind the table, come on. Come. So Sister Cherie and her family, they're gonna read the Tamshila Tutanana, and we all will do the Harambe together. So come down just right to the edge of where the,
Can we get some of the people on this side to move on?
but I don't wanna bump up against the,
We can do it. We can do that without doing
I'm still in it. I'm still in it.
okay, all right, come on. All right, okay.
Strive for discipline, dedication, and achievement in all you do. Dare struggle and sacrifice, and gain the strength that comes from this. Build where you are, and dare leave a legacy that will last as long as the sun shines and the water flows. Practice daily umoja, kujitapalia, ujima, ujama, nia, kuumba, and imani. And may the wisdom of our ancestors always walk with us. May the years meet us laughing and stronger. May our children honor us by following our example in love and struggle. And at the end of next year, may we sit again together in larger numbers with greater achievement, closer to the liberation and a higher level of human life.
Ashe. So would you explain the Harambe? You okay doing it? Explain the Harambe? Yes.
Okay, so Harambe is the thing that we do at the end of what you just read. You put your right hand up as an open hand. You'll pull down into a fist and say Harambe. And we do this 7 times, and Harambe means pull together. So everybody who is participating in your Kwanzaa celebration or in our Kwanzaa program will be doing this all at the same time. Harambe! 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 Harambe!
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us. I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you all for joining us. We have appreciated the time we've had together with you live, with you virtually. And please join us for our programs beginning December 26th. We'd love to have you come, have fun, join in a wonderful celebration of family, community, and culture. All right.